Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this series we're going to be going through all the planets, okay? And the host is Aries, okay? Aries. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Aries through all the planets: Sun, Moon, Mercury, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, you name it, okay? But before we get into it, if you enjoy my readings, you certainly could book a reading with me. All you have to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com. And I'll certainly go forward with you. I do astral birth natal chart interpretation readings as well as tarot, okay? So we can do that. All you have to do is email me and we can go forward with that. So getting back into the video, okay, and it's Aries through all the planets, okay, Aries through all the planets. And I think this is so important because we always talk about the sun sign, but I feel like in order to become a better astrologer and understand astrology is diverse, okay? And there's so many ways to interpret Aries energy depending on which planet it is, okay? And this will give you a bigger picture of understanding your different Aries placements, because you might not have it in Sun, but you might have it in Moon, you might have it in Uranus, you might have it in Jupiter. Okay, so this is the video for it, okay? So this is Aries through all the planets, okay? And we're gonna start off with the sun sign. So Aries Sun, okay? Sun Aries, okay? And the first thing I can say about Sun Aries is that these people are action orientated, okay? Sun Aries. Aries is all about action. It's motivation, it's action, it's movement, okay? When you put it in sun represents our actions and the actions that we take. So these people are all about taking actions, moving, being energetic, being on the go. Also with Sun and Aries, these people are very competitive, okay? They're all about being a winner, okay? And this is their ego. Your Sun represents your ego, okay? What you want to be, okay? So when you have it in Aries, you want to win. Aries is all about being the first. Aries is all about competition. Aries is all about the self. So these are very competitive people who like to win. It's going to be a big part of their ego. They could even be sore losers. But this makes them very competitive, very much all about winning. Also with Aries in Sun, okay, these people act a lot on their anger and their aggression. Okay, so very aggressive people with the Sun and Aries energy. They can really act strongly on their anger compared to other placements that could take their time a little bit, think it out through a little bit. No, Sun and Aries are very much, I feel this way, are feeling angry. They act on it really quick, so they can really act out their aggressions. This can again lead to very impulsive behavior, very aggressive behavior. Also with Sun and Aries, these people can be very prideful, okay? Aries rules the self. It's all about the self. And when you put this in the Sun, which is your ego, this makes you very self-centered. Okay, so this could be a really good thing because this could make you a winner because you're very self-orientated. You do the best things for yourself. So this is actually a great thing. And this is why they could be such winners. But this could also make them very selfish. Okay, this can make them very selfish, very self-centered. So you got to be careful, Sun Aries, with that egotistical mindset, okay? Always doing things for the self, always focusing on yourself and not being able to see others. Also with Sun and Aries, your temper, okay? This could be a hot temper, okay? Your Sun rules, you know, that spirit, that energy, that ego, and you put it in Aries, which is very intense, okay? This can cause a lot of strong temper, okay? Sun and Aries could have a strong temper. They can lash out, okay? They can get extremely angry. It won't last for a long time though. They don't hold it in like a Scorpio. However, their tempers are big and quick. So you could just be mindful of that with Sun and Aries. They definitely do have a hot temper. Also with Sun and Aries, these people are very independent. This is their ego. Their ego is about independence because they're so self-orientated, very much independent. They could do things by themselves. They don't need other people's approval, and they pride themselves on that, okay? Also with Sun and Aries, you can really show off your body as well too. Aries rules the body, okay? Yourself, your physical body, okay? Your energy, but also in the physical way. So with with Aries being in Sun, okay, this is like what you put out there. So it could be your physical body, okay? So Sun and Aries could be body show-offs. They could have a really nice body. They could work out a lot because they're very energetic, okay? So, and naturally, you know, with Aries ruling the body, this does, Aries can manifest a strong body, a nice fit body, especially if you work out and you have all that motivation, a good muscle energy, your muscle body. Aries rules the muscles and all that type of stuff. So these people could be really fit, they could exercise a lot, and they can really show off their body. That could be a strong point. And also very sexual too. It's a lot of sexual energy. Aries is very sexual, okay? It's an impulsive energy. It represents your adrenaline, okay? That natural sexual instinct, that arousal. And you put it in Sun, where you show it off. Sun also rules sex, and it's the way that you present your sexual energy. This is like, again, sexy people, very sexual. Also, with Sun and Aries people, they can be really known for the actions that they take, okay? Your Sun is what you're known for. It's your ego. It's what people see, the actions, how you act, your behaviors. So your behaviors can be all about the actions you take. People just know you as a person who's always on the go, always on the move, always taking actions, okay? Whether it be being physical, athletic, or just being very busy, or you know, that people know you for the actions that you take. Now we're moving on to Aries moon, okay? Moon Aries, all right? When your moon's in Aries. And this is gonna be how you emotionally feel. So your emotions are in Aries energy. First thing to know about Moon Aries is that they're emotionally independent. These people don't need that much connection, that much attachment from other people. They're going to be very emotionally independent, and that's going to make them independent very naturally, okay, just on a subconscious level. And this is because a lot of Moon Aries people had to fight. They were raised in families where they had to fight for their independence. They had to fight to win. So the type of family that you were groomed in, you had to fight. You had to look out for self. Okay, there could have been lots of fights in the family. Standing up for yourself in the family. Looking out for yourself in the family. Okay, in Aries, there could just be lots of issues. Okay, anger, temperament. Okay, aggression within the family. So you learn that, you know, you have to fight to get what you want. Okay, this is the family that you're growing up in. So it makes you very emotionally independent and very intense. You can't really rely on anyone. Moon in Aries can also lead to emotional neglect. Okay, emotional neglect. Okay, because you had to fight so much, because there were so much fights in your upbringing, a lot of your emotions were not looked at. You know, Aries isn't emotional. It's very action orientated. It's very independent. So your family is in that way. So there's a lot of emotional neglect. You had to rely on yourself. You know, maybe your parents didn't walk you to school at a very young age. You had to walk by yourself. You had to do everything by yourself. A lot of these things can lead to emotional neglect, not feeling like you can rely on your parents, on your family, on your siblings. You had to be on your own. And it could be traumatizing with Moon in Aries, okay? But this is what leads to that very independent self, okay? That upbringing. Also, lots of fights in the home. You could have seen your parents fighting a lot, siblings fighting a lot, you fighting with your siblings, a lot of drama, that intensity, that rage within the family. That can also lead to some of that trauma and lead to that independence. So the peace in the home could have been lacking with all the fights and the aggression. And because of this, a lot of times with Moon in Aries, you need space, okay? Because you're raised with a lot of this independence, a lot of this fight, you need your space. These people, again, are very emotionally independent, okay? They don't depend on others. They understand they have to fight. They understand they have to fight for themselves and survive. You know, their family situations were so intense, so this leads them to wanting their own space. Moon and fire signs especially, they're very independent. So they like their own space, Moon and Aries. They like their independence. They don't like being so attached to people. They've seen how that's backfired. They've seen that being with people starts a lot of drama, starts a lot of fights. You know, doesn't give them that type of peace. So with Moon and Aries, they're most comfortable with themselves. They like their space. They don't like to be attached to people too much. They don't like the weight of other people's attachments to themselves. Also, this can make you not trust people, you know, emotionally. Make you distant from other people. You don't attach yourself to people because of the trauma you've been through, because of the fights and the rage you've been through with your family. You understand that you can't attach to people easily, okay? So It's going to lead to you not trusting people easily, not letting people attach to you, getting into relationships without questioning them, without feeling suspicious, and without even fighting them off. Also, with Moon in Aries, you have very powerful emotions, okay? Emotions are very strong, but when you put them in Aries, Aries makes you act on it. It gives the fire, the intensity, the rage. So these people can have very powerful emotions. You don't want to underestimate a Moon in Aries. They won't show their aggression out there because it's in Moon. So Moon keeps the energy inside, but because that Aries energy is inside, it's boiling and it's pumped up, and these people can really lash out crazily with that Aries and Moon. Okay, because you're putting that hot Aries energy in your Moon, which is emotions. So they stir up and they boil. So Moon in Aries people, you might not see it out in the front like Sun in Aries, where their energy is just out there in the front. Don't underestimate these people, because these are the people that have that hidden power, that hidden rage, okay, that could really blurt out. So very powerful emotions with Moon in Aries. And these are going to be people who are very motivated through their emotions, okay? The stuff that they feel is what gets them going. So it's not only that they could be really like rageful and lash out, but they could also use that energy to have strong motivations. If you feel something strongly, that Moon in Aries person is going to feel like they have to take action on it. They take action on their emotions, and that's what makes their emotions so powerful, because they act on them. A lot of other placements, they can feel it, but they'll let it simmer. Moon in Aries, it makes your emotions very powerful, and it makes you act on them all the time. So again, be careful with these people, because they could have a hidden temper, a hidden anger, lash out on crazy. But also, this is great for being motivated and feeling something and taking action on those feelings. Now moving on to Mercury Aries, okay? Your Aries in Mercury, all right? Now, this is how you communicate, okay? So you communicate Aries, okay, in Aries way, in Aries energy. So the first thing to know is with Mercury Aries, your communication is very impulsive. So this is like word vomit. You're very impulsive. Whatever you feel, you just say, okay? You very much think later, which can lead to a lot of issues, but the communication is very impulsive here, okay? Also, their communication is very blunt and straightforward, okay? Very straightforward communication. They don't sugarcoat it, okay? Aries isn't about sugarcoating, about being nice. Aries is all about being straightforward, direct. So your communication is very direct. You say exactly what you mean. You don't sugarcoat it at all. And this is great for direction, okay? Very clear and clarity. But sometimes you could rub people off a certain way. Sometimes people want what is said to be more thoughtful and careful, and Aries and Mercury and Aries is not going to care about that. Also, this can lead to very vulgar communication, a lot of cussing, okay, a lot of sex talk, a lot of dirty talk. Watch with the potty mouths, okay? This is very much the placement for, you kiss your mother with that mouth. Also with Aries and Mercury, okay, Mercury Aries, this can lead to lots of miscalculations, okay, because you're so straightforward and so impulsive with your speaking. You don't think enough. You don't take the time to look into the details. You don't take the time to really think about what you're communicating. So this can lead to lack of judgment. This can lead to missing out on the details. Fire signs can have this a lot, especially with Aries being so quick, so impulsive. So you gotta be careful with this placement, because you can miscalculate a lot, just saying things so impulsively and not thinking through the logistics, okay? So a lot of times these people can miss out on logical things. They can miss out on a lot of details. They can say things that really just don't make sense because they're not thinking through. They're impulsive with their speaking. They're not thinking through, and that's leading to a lot of miscalculations. This could also lead to struggles with paying attention, okay? This leads into, I'm not saying this is ADD or ADHD, but this is like, I like to use ADHD as an example, especially with fire signs in Mercury. This can lead, you're not listening, you're not paying attention enough, you're too impulsive. You can have problems paying attention, staying in a classroom and listening. You're just so impulsive with your mind. You want to go, move. So it's hard to pay attention, With this placement, it could lead into like ADHD type of symptoms. Not saying that you're going to have ADHD, but the symptoms of ADHD, the meaning of it definitely goes along with Mercury and Aries. These people could really have a lot of hard time paying attention, listening. Okay, they're just so impulsive with the mind. They have very little patience with the mind, so it's hard for them to pay attention. Watch out for that, because the mind, it's about communicating and putting out energy, but it's also about receiving energy. You have to do both with the mind. So Aries could be very extroverted, very much putting things out there and very quick, but not taking enough time to think, not taking enough time to listen and take in and soak in the energy, soak in the information. So yes, you can have issues paying attention with Mercury and Aries. These also could be very loud speakers as well too. You could speak very loud, you could speak very aggressively, have a strong temper when you speak, have a very loud voice, a demanding, commanding voice, which is great, you know, great for giving direction, being a powerful speaker, okay, because you got that strong Aries energy. But again, just make sure you pay attention to the details. Also, be careful with accidents, okay? That impulsive energy, moving before thinking, this could lead to accidents, so you want to be careful with that. Mars and Aries. Now we're gonna move into Mars and Aries. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, now this is Aries at home. It's in Mars. Mars rules Aries, so they have the same traits. So this is a very powerful placement. First thing is, these people are naturally very energetic. Okay, Mars rules the body, your energy levels, your adrenaline. You have Aries in here. You guys are naturally very energetic, have a lot of energy. Also with Mars and Aries, this can manifest a very athletic build. Okay, naturally fit body. Okay, because again, we're talking about Mars, we're talking about your physique. You put in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, so you're very much about a nice fit body. These people can have natural nice fit body. When they work out, they really just look nice. They're very fit. It's on a genetic level. Again, with Mars, it's very biological, very genetic, so you're just naturally can have a fit body. So this is great for that. Great for a good physique. You know, you could have a very fast metabolism where you burn fat a lot. You know, you could build muscle very easily. Mars rules the muscles, so is Aries. So you could build muscles really nicely. This is a nice athletic build physically with Mars and Aries. So again, very blessed. This leads to a very powerful body too. You know, good muscle, good physique, very powerful bodies, very energetic naturally. Okay, so you got a lot of that natural umph. Okay, so that's gonna make it really good when you start working out, because you have a lot of motivation. You could push your bodies to limits and stuff like that, because of the natural energy that you have. Also, with Mars and Aries, these people have a strong temper. Their adrenaline is strong, so is their tempers. Okay, this is great because you can move, you can have lots of motivation, but also you got to be careful with these people, because they really feel that adrenaline in their bodies. So if you tip them off, they can lash out and pop off really quick. These people can have very strong, powerful tempers, okay, with Mars and Aries. So be careful, okay, because their fight or flight is fight. With Mars and Aries, your flight or fight is going to be fight. They're gonna choose fight. So be careful with these people, because they are natural fighters. They have it naturally in them, and even on a physical level. Okay, so very energetic, but the tempers are high with this. Also with Mars and Aries, these people are very competitive, very self-willed, very self-motivated. This is very powerful because a lot of people, you know, we try to do things and sometimes we're lazy. With Mars and Aries, this gives you a strong motivation. So when you want to do something, you can do it. You have the power to put it into action. A lot of times with other placements in Aries, you know, we can think, okay, like we want to do it. We can feel like we want to do it. We can act like we want to do it, but Mars literally puts the action here. You will get up and do it. This is strong motivation, strong self-will. Okay, you have the natural energy to get up out of bed and go work out. Get up out of bed and go do what you need to do. Whatever you're motivated to do, you can literally go and physically do it. So this cuts out all the laziness. This is why this is a very powerful placement, because your body has a lot of motivation, has a lot of energy. So these people are very self-motivated. They're not going to be naturally lazy. They're going to be very action orientated, and they're going to be able to put the actions in anything they feel, say, or do. Also, these people are very instinctual, okay, with their body. They Mars rules the instincts, okay? Because it's all about our adrenaline. Our adrenaline rules like our instincts, our sexual energy, what we feel on an instinctive level. So these people have strong instincts, okay? They feel something, they take action right ahead. They're not gonna wait, okay? This goes with that strong motivation, but on top of that motivation is natural instincts, okay? With Mars and Aries, this could be like operating like the way animals are very instinctual. You can have that because you're very body smart and you're very connected to your body, okay? Your body has a lot of energy, so you have a lot of instinct, okay? So it's very interesting. These people can be almost animal-like with their instincts. Also with Mars and Aries, these people could be very sexy, okay? It's that sexual energy, and they naturally have a lot of that sexual energy, so it kind of oozes out of them. But they have very strong sexuality, okay? Not only are their bodies fit and everything, their sexuality, the energy they feel is very strong here. Very strong sexual energy. These people can really enjoy sex, enjoy expressing their sexual energy. They have it on such a strong instinctive level, okay? These people can even sometimes be hypersexual because they have a lot of energy sexually. So very sexy people with Mars and Aries. Also with Mars and Aries, be careful with your temper. These could be people who fight a lot. Be careful with body injuries as well too. These people can move their bodies a lot excessively, okay? And that could lead to wear and tear, you know, going too in at the gym and wearing and tearing your body. Just because you got the energy, you still want to be careful a little bit. This can lead to impulsive physical actions that lead to accidents, okay? So you want to be careful with that. Even fights, okay? These people can have strong tempers and get into physical fights. You just want to be careful with the body as well too, because all this friction can lead to body injuries, whether it be impulses, movements, fights, whatever it is. So you want to be careful with that. Now we're moving on to Venus and Aries, okay? Venus, Aries, okay? So this is Aries in love, all right? So the first thing to understand with Venus and Aries is you're very independent when it comes to love, okay? Very independent. Aries is all about independence. Venus is all about relationships. So you kind of steer away from that. There's a very independent approach to love. So relationships aren't as easy. It could be lots of fights when it comes to romance, okay? Lots of fights when you come into relationships with other people, whether it be friendships, romantic, whatever. There could be lots of fights. People about the self. Aries leads to self. It could be selfishness and unfairness. So you gotta fight, okay? So relationships are hard because of so many fights, and that's what reinforces that independence in you. Okay, because you gotta fight so much in your relationship, so you like to be independent. You can have people that are unfair with you, so you gotta fight back for your fairness. Okay, this leads to not the most peaceful love life, but a one where it's very much about fighting for yourself, which is the opposite of relationships, which is about coming together. So Venus and Aries is a very hard placement, very much the opposite of what we talked about with Mars and Aries. With Venus and Aries, you can attract a lot of competition. So, you know, Venus is about what we attract magnetically, but you're attracting competition. You're attracting Aries energy, which is about, again, competition, the self. You're attracting people who are about themselves. You're attracting people who always want to win, who are not collaborating with you. Okay, so again, that's what's creating that independence, that lack of peace in your relationship. Also, you can be very sexually attractive, okay? So Aries is very sexual, and people can find your raw sexual energy very attractive. You can attract a lot of people through your sexual energy. However, this sexual energy can cause problems still, because even though you're very sexually attractive and people are attracted to you, people could be very jealous of it, okay? Or it could just be very vulgar. Okay, so people hating on you. This is like the classic, like the girl walks down the street and the men are inappropriately hitting on her, talking about her sexual parts and stuff like that, or just liking her strictly for her body. So the sexual attraction is there. You're very sexually attractive. However, it can be very vulgar. You know, you might not like it because it's not romantic. It's very vulgar. It could be disrespectful. People could just really value you only for your body, which can feel very it just feels like a disvalue. It feels like you're an object. Okay, so again, a lot of attraction, but this is where Venus falls in Aries. Aries is too sexual. It's not enough romance, so it could feel disrespect. It could be very aggressive. Okay, that people hitting on you in a very aggressive way, it's just not pleasing. Also, with Venus and Aries, these people are not vulnerable. Okay, so because of these incidents with relationships and all the tension and the fighting, this makes you not vulnerable. It can make it hard for you to trust people. Even if the right person comes with that Venus and Aries, you're going to struggle to open up because you never know what's going to come up. And rightfully so, because you go through a lot of things, you got to be more protective. But this makes them lack the vulnerability, lack the romance. You know, these people can be really rough, very straightforward. Not have that vulnerability, that softness. People can also like sexuality in their romance. Okay, sex is romantic to Venus and Aries people. And again, you got to be careful with that because sometimes that can lead to being devalued, okay? Because you're only liked for your body. But they do like to add the extra spice and sexual energy in their romance. Also with Venus and Aries, this can deal with lots of cheating in romance. Cheaters, people who are very selfish. Okay, people that make you want to be selfish, okay, because of their selfishness. So you got to be careful with the cheating, okay, the romance not working, selfish partners, okay, all these types of stuff. This is what makes the Venus and Aries person not a romantic one because of their experiences. They don't trust people. You as well, the Venus and Aries person, you can cheat on your partners. You're so impulsive with your sexual energy romantically that you go ahead and you fall for temptation and end up cheating on your partner. You're only thinking about yourself. You only think about your self-gratification. So you got to be careful with the cheating and the lies and like not even the lies, but the selfish behavior that comes in with romance with Venus and Aries. This could lead to a lot of heartbreak. Venus and Aries can lead to a lot of heartbreak, so be careful with that. The most important thing to understand with Venus and Aries is self-love. You need to know how to love yourself. Love yourself, respect yourself. This is what the energy is trying to teach you. You know, because romance isn't working. There's a lot of fights, there's a lot of cheating, lies, and all that type of stuff. So with that, you got to learn how to fend for yourself, defend yourself, be for yourself, self-independence. This is very much self-love, looking out for yourself. Now, Jupiter Aries, this is the expansion of Aries energy, okay? This is a great placement. These people are very powerful because of their self-will and motivation. Okay, Jupiter expands the energy, and Aries is all about self-motivation, self-will. So you have an abundance of that. There is nothing you think you can't do with Aries and Jupiter. Jupiter, Aries people, there is nothing they feel like they can't do. That Aries energy gives them that self-will motivation, and Jupiter expands that. So you have so much of that. There's so much confidence when you have Jupiter and Aries. These people are incredibly confident. They feel like there's nothing they can do. They're willing to push and fight for anything and everything. And they have so much of that energy, so much fight, so much self-will that it leads to a lot of confidence. And they fall back, they get right back up. Okay, so they have abundance of self-motivation, self-will, and confidence that will keep going on and on. So this is a very powerful placement because of the will, because of the motivation being expanded. It's so intense and so powerful. So you could push these people down, they'll get right back up. They strongly believe in themselves, okay? Jupiter, Aries, really strongly believe in yourself. You have a lot of confidence and faith within yourself, and you can do it independently. You don't need anyone. So there's so much confidence, so much resilience, so much getting back up, so much faith within the self. It's a very powerful placement. Also with Jupiter, Aries, they love their freedom. This is all about freedom. Aries is very independent, okay? And Jupiter is all about freedom, okay? So these people are all about their freedom. They're not going to wait for anyone. They want to go on a trip, they're going to go. They're not waiting for anyone. They want to do this, they're going to go. They're not waiting for anyone. They not only like their freedom, but they do it independently without anyone's help, anyone's push, anyone's motivation. They just go and do it. They're quick. So these people are strong when it comes to their free will. Very powerful. They're all about freedom. They're all about, I do whatever I want. No one tells me what to do. Okay, and this can make them very rebellious too. Okay, very rebellious, like, no, I'm gonna do this, very stubborn in that way. But the freedom here, the way they're able to expand their lives through their own motivation is powerful. So big on freedom when it comes to Jupiter and Aries. They're also big fighters when it comes to their beliefs and faith. When it comes to what they believe in, they're going to fight for it. Their philosophies, their religion, their faith, they're going to fight for it, okay? They're going to fight for it. They're going to argue you down. They will not stop. They're fighters of their faith. They fight for what they believe in. And this is not just, your religion, but this is just whatever you believe in. This goes back to that confidence, that resilience, that I believe in myself, okay? They have strong self-esteem. They really believe in themselves. So anything they believe in, their faiths as well too, they fight for it. They will argue someone down and say, no, this is the belief. This is what it is. They're great arguers when it comes to their philosophies and their beliefs. They will fight for it. Also, you can expand in your life. Jupiter deals with our expansion, our luck, how we expand our lives. You can do that through fighting for yourself, okay? These are big believers in fight. If you want something, you fight for it. And this will help expand your life. So you're kind of motivated to fight. You're motivated to push through, okay? So fighting, and I don't mean physically, but just energetically, for whatever it is that you want, for whatever it is that you need, for whatever it is that you believe in, will expand your life. So with this placement, don't give up, okay? If you believe in something, fight for it. That's what these people believe in. They believe in if you fight for it, you can get it. Also, these people can have very big, expansive physical body parts, okay? So Aries rules our body, our physique, and with Jupiter, it expands it. So maybe you have really big muscles. Maybe you got a really big forehead. Maybe you're really tall. Jupiter and Aries can give you expansive physical body traits. So definitely something to look into. Also, the sexual energy here could be really big. These people can have very strong, big sex drives, okay? Very much so. They can like lots of sex, okay? Just putting it out there. Also, it could be foreign sex, okay? Sex with other people. They're expansive. They like to have different experiences with different types of people, foreign people. So there's an abundance of sex. This could be super hypersexual, even more hypersexual than Mars and Aries, okay? Jupiter can expand it even more. So you just want all the sexual experiences with different people of different cultures and race, and you just want all of it. Different types of sex, groups, like this could be abundance of it. So this could definitely lead into like hypersexuality. So gotta be careful with that. Now Saturn in Aries, okay? This is your discipline in Aries energy, okay? So the first thing with Saturn in Aries is there could be restrictions within your self-will and independence. So a lot of times when you want to do something, whatever it is that you want to do, or you want to be independent, you're just motivated through the self, you can come through lots of restrictions with Saturn here. It can restrict your self-will, your independence, your ability just to do whatever it is you want to do. Saturn will restrict it, put lots of obstacles in it. So anytime you're self-willed and motivated and you just want to go and do, you will come up obstacles, with Saturn in Aries. It will restrict these things. So you have to be more strategic when you're on the move, when you're on the go. It can also lead to lots of obstacles, okay, when it comes to fights and competition. The competition can be very intense with that Saturn energy, and this can make Saturn and Aries people more motivated because of the restrictions. You got to know Aries is a fighter, so it's willing to fight, which is a good thing with Saturn in Aries. This is why I don't think Saturn in Aries is a bad placement. We'll get into that though, because Aries is a fighter. It'll keep going. But it just has to be more strategic. It has to think more. It has to strategize more when it comes to it. So even with the fighting, okay, and the competition, Aries is usually just going and pushing. But Saturn wants you to be more strategic, okay? And by doing that, you can gain a lot of rewards by putting in the strategy first before going and moving and taking action. So this is a very more strategic Aries, okay? Aries likes to just go, and that can be hard. But once you learn how to think, how to plan, how to properly strategize, all your movements, all your will, all the competition, all the fights will get better, okay? This is adding strategy into your fight. Even in a physical fight, You know, you want to be more strategic. You want to learn some skills, okay? This is going to teach you how to be a better fighter. So very much with Saturn and Aries, this is really not as bad as a placement as people try to make it seem. Also, this is great for working out. Aries rules the body. With the discipline of Saturn, you can be very disciplined in how you build your body. You have a lot of resilience in your physical energy. So even though you are getting these obstacles, that's creating that discipline. So these people can really build their bodies. This is good for bodybuilding, changing your body, morphing your body, disciplining your body. The body discipline with Saturn and Aries is very strong here. This is also good for athletics, okay? Because athletics is not just sports, and athletics is not just about being strong, but it's also having skill sets, knowing how to work your body. There's rules in sports, there's rules in athletics, there's a discipline there. So this is a great placement for that. Also, Saturn Aries can lead to lots of body endurance. Your body can take a lot because it goes through a lot. You have strong endurance. This could be good for long distance runs. This could be good for taking pain. Again, this is good for athletics. But the endurance here is strong. You have a lot of endurance. You can take a lot. You're not just like regular Aries, which Aries can be like a sprint. You know, it's a big boost, a big burn. You burst out your energy and then you're burnt out. Saturn elongates this. Saturn gives you more longevity with the body. Okay, so you're not just sprinting out there. It's more about the long distance run. So that discipline adds endurance. So you can have lots of body endurance. You just can take a lot, handle a lot, do things, physical movement for a long time because of the endurance. Also, you got to be careful with obstacles within the body, injuries, okay? Accidents, you got to be careful because Saturn's putting obstacles. You got to take your body more seriously. So you want to take care of it. You want to watch out for it. You want to be strategic in the way you move. You could be very powerful, but if you don't have technique, you could end up injuring your body. So again, you want to discipline the body. Also, when it comes to your career, you could be very physical with your career. Your career can have lots of action, whether you're an athlete, whether you do a job that's very physical. Okay, whether your job is all about movement, okay? You can manifest a career that is very action orientated. So Saturn Aries is really good for having a very athletic career, for having a very action orientated career, a career that involves lots of movement. Also with Saturn Aries, they have lots of power and control and independence. This is all about power and control. Okay, having control through your own power. Saturn deals with control. Okay, and Aries deals with power. Okay, so these people are very self-controlled and disciplined. They're all about the self-will, the self-power, being in control of self. So that's Saturn and Aries, and now we're moving on to Uranus in Aries. Okay, Uranus in Aries, and this is a generational planet. So it not only explains your personality, but also the generation that you come from, the personality of your whole generation, because a lot of people share the same Uranus sign. And Uranus is all about innovating. So this is Aries energy that is innovative. So the first thing I can say with Aries, Aries is this is a generation that's very rebellious, very independent. Very much so. Aries is all about independence. Uranus is all about rebelling. So the generation you come from, who you are as well too, is very independent and very rebellious. You like to rebel. You like to do things your way. You like to question things. If you want to do something, that's what you're going to do. You're not going to let anyone steer you any type of direction. And they like to rebel. So any type of control, they like to rebel against it. Anyone trying to steer their own direction, it's going to be hard with Uranus and Aries. You're very rebellious, okay? And again, this is going to be your generation. So it's a very rebellious generation. They like to do whatever they want. This could be a generation that is like almost like anarchy, where the people take over. So because there's so much rebelliousness in the people, the government, the power, the collective that controls it, they get lots of pushback because the generation is very rebellious. So that's control at a large level, which is government, power control, all of that type of stuff. This generation will rebel against it. It could lead to lots of anarchy, and it's a very powerful rebellion because Aries is very, very, very energetic and impulsive. So it's like, you know, like riots, you know, people coming together to rebel against this control, rebel against that control. Lots of movements of rebel. This is the rebel generation, and they're intense with it. They're fierce with it. I don't know how much more to express it. The rebellion with Uranus and Aries is so strong. Okay, so you're gonna get lots of riots. You're gonna get a generation that's very kind of like anarchy. There can also be lots of violence in the collective. This could be a generation there's lots of violence. Aries is fight. Uranus represents the collective. So there could be lots of fights between the people, not just fighting against the powers, but fighting against people. Again, it's very rebellious. The energy could be out of control. So you got to be careful with Uranus and Aries. There could be lots of violence within the collective of people. Also with Uranus and Aries, the technology could be very combative. This could be like weapons of mass destruction, innovating it, even getting more powerful weapons, bigger bombs, guns that are very technological and advanced. This could be the warfare in terms of machinery. When it comes to that, they can just intensify with Uranus and Aries. We could be making lots of technology for fighting, okay? Bombs, guns, stuff like that. Just very advanced though. You know, with that Uranus energy, it's advancing that and making them more technological. So even more advanced guns, bigger weapons of mass destruction, even more powerful. So again, you got to be careful with Uranus and Aries. This could be very much war energy within the collective. Now you got missiles and guns that are even more powerful. There can also be an upgrade in cars and technology. Aries actually rules movement. Our cars are actually ruled by Aries. Cars can be ruled by Mercury as well too, but they're also ruled by Aries because Aries is how we go, and our cars are how we go. Okay, so when it comes to the technology, and cars represents technology, we can advance these. This could be a generation that has some amazing cars, powerful cars, super fast cars. Uranus and Aries is super fast. This is very impulsive, fast energy. So, and in a technological way. So again, the car industry can be advanced. The technology for cars can be very advanced. These cars, this could be a generation where the cars are very fast. They go super fast. The motor is strong, intense. It can also be body technology too. Aries rules the body. When I think of Uranus and Aries, I can think of like cyborg energy, you know, human and technology coming together, the body and technology coming together. So it's a very chaotic energy. Uranus and Aries is very chaotic. It's very explosive. It's incredibly rebellious. So be careful with the wars, the violence, the intensity, the machinery, the guns. It's a lot. It's a very rebellious generation. Now moving on to Neptune and Aries, okay? Neptune, Aries, okay? And this is our Aries in a very magical, intuitive energy, okay? First thing I'll say with Neptune and Aries, Neptune being a generational planet, is this is also an independent generation. Aries represents independence. Neptune represents how we are together as a collective, how we connect. And because it's an Aries, very self, we connect in a very self way. We're looking for self. So again, this is a generation that's very independent, very self-motivated. It will also be a generation that's very angry. So it's hard to kind of come together, to feel together, because Aries isn't emotional. Aries is very dependent. Remember what we talked about with Moon and Aries, being very emotionally independent. Same here with Neptune. Okay, how we come together as a collective, it's hard to, because it's an Aries. Aries is very independent. So we don't come together too much. We can be very angry with each other, very suspicious. This is, again, a very independent generation. Also, the occult energy, whether it be magic, whether it be tarot, whether it be spiritual practices we do behind the scenes, witchcraft, all those type of stuff that Neptune rules, okay? We could be very aggressive with this. With Neptune and Aries, this could be a generation that aggressively uses, you know, occult studies, magic, superstitious stuff. These could be used in an offensive way, in a very aggressive way. So you got to be careful here. This could be like lots of attack, using spells to attack other people. Okay, manipulating people, you know, just on the attack for somebody else in a very subliminal way. Using magic, using spells, okay? Using our occult knowledge to attack other people for self-gratitude, for self-gain. So you got to be careful with this, because the magic can be very aggressive. Okay, this is reinforcing people not trusting each other when it comes to Neptune and Aries. Okay, so you got to be careful, because people can be subliminally attacking you. Okay, Be careful with that, because again, this generation does not come together as much. They can use their energy, their intuitive energy, their psychic energy, Neptune will psychic abilities, to attack for self-gain, selfish way, to attack others, to be in competition with others. This can also be a generation that has very aggressive sexual music and art. Okay, the art could be very aggressive. Okay, maybe the art represents madness, represents anger. Our music is very angry, it's very aggressive. Also, our music and art can be very sexual. Aries is that raw sexual energy. So lots of the music, the music videos, the art, our creativity is sexually motivated, very sexual, artistic generation. Also be a generation that glamorizes the sexual energy. The sexual energy is very glamorized, okay? Neptune deals with our imagination, our artistic, our creativity, and you put it in Aries energy, it's like a glamorization of the sexual energy. Also, a lot of the healing in this generation can be through self-independence. Okay, so a lot of times Neptune represents our generational healing, how we heal, how we come together and heal. So we heal through independence, from being independent, being safe from other people, being self-willed, being motivated by self, looking out for self is the way that this generation heals itself. So very interesting energy with Neptune and Aries. Not an easy energy. It brings a lot of separateness, okay? A lot of aggressive energy in a subliminal, magical way, artistic way. Now, last but not least, okay, Aries and Pluto. Pluto, Aries, okay, another generational planet. And Pluto deals with our complete transformation, okay? This is the rebirth of Aries energy. So with Pluto and Aries, there's going to be lots of war and power struggles as a collective. I mean, just like Uranus and Aries, Pluto Aries is going to cause a lot of destruction, a lot of war. There's a lot of aggressive energy. And because Pluto's all about the death of things, the ending of things, to rebirth something new, a lot of this aggressive energy is going to lead to a lot of deaths. So this is a lot of violence. This is war. This is power struggles within the people, the community. Lots of war, lots of power struggles, lots of destruction. The destruction is aggressive. Aries adds that extra aggression to Pluto energy. Pluto energy is already creating death and destruction. With Aries, it makes it violent. It makes it aggressive. It just makes it that much more aggressive. So this is going to manifest a lot of war. A lot of war, a lot of killing. It could be very violent and scary with Pluto in Aries. Lots of killing within the collective. Lots of war within the collective. Strong aggressive destruction. Okay, this could lead to fighting for your life. Okay, very independent generation. Because there's so much war and fight going on, people don't trust each other. People are aggressive with each other. You will feel like you have to fight for your survival. It's very much the self. Okay, so very destructive. This is a very intense energy. This also manifests a very ambitious generation. This end generation has a lot of drive with Pluto and Aries. Pluto and Aries creates a lot of destruction, but it creates a lot of motivation. There's a strong will of power orientated. So this is going to be a generation that's very self-motivated, very self-willed, have a lot of ambition, want power. Aries wants to win. Pluto's about power. So this generation is power orientated and they're going to fight for it. This is a very look out for self, fight for self. Okay, you come from a generation where it's like you got to fight for yourself and make it to the top. And again, this creates lots of competition within the collective. So collective are very looking out for self, fighting people off. Very much about self. And this can also be a very hypersexual generation. Pluto is very sexual and Aries is very sexual. You put this energy together, very hypersexual. This can also lead to sexual abuse. So again, this is like not a safe place. Pluto Aries is not safe, you know, because the energy is so aggressive, but this can be a very hypersexual generation, lots of hyperaggression with the sex, so it can lead to even sexual abuse. So you gotta be careful with that. But this can transform the energy and create strong boundaries within people, taking your power back, fighting for your power back. Pluto and Aries can lead to a generation that fights to gain their power back, all these wars, all these destructions, kills everything off to create a new sense of self, a new generation of a sense of self with strong boundaries, strong protection, strong self-will, taking out the powers that be, the abusive government, the abusive powers that control you, fighting against that to create something newer with more freedom that gives everyone their own self-will, their own freedom. This is Aries energy, so it's about the self, but Pluto is transforming that. So you gotta fight through for the freedom. So Pluto and Aries, it's very aggressive, it's very violent, it can be very scary, but the end result is to rebirth the self, okay? Rebirth our independence. Be independent from all the powers that be. Get away from all the control so that we have our own freedom. Because through all the fights, it's gonna create power, control. I gain my own self-will. No one controls me. I control myself. I fight for my freedom. So definitely leads into that, but so much destruction. Very not easy energy, but very intense. So yes, very intense, destroying everything to create new independence, new self-will, okay? For the collective in general, because it's a very independent generation that's looking for their own power and control. That is Aries through all the planets, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed that. Very intense energy. And if you enjoy my readings, you could book a reading with me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com, and I'll surely get back to you. And I'll check you guys out on the next video. Thank you for watching.